Week 3. So what was it like? Let's call week 3 peaks and valleys. So there were some things that were positive and went up, other things that were not as positive, and I wouldn't call them going down, just weren't as good as the previous week. And not expecting this YouTube journey to be a mirror image week in and week out. In fact, we don't want it to be a mirror image week in and week out. We want it to grow over time. And so I would say the best part of this week was learning. So I did a hike and posted 2 videos this week. One was on a hike up Mount Garfield, and the other second was the week 2 YouTube journey. But the hike up Mount Garfield was, number one, was awesome just from the hiking standpoint. But I wanted to film that to where anybody that watched it would feel like they hiked up Mount Garfield with me, that they were experiencing the hike from the trailhead all the way up to the top of the mountain. And well, I certainly didn't do that perfectly like a pro that's been filming forever. I think I did a pretty good job, and it made me look at the trail from a different perspective. And so that noise in the background, people come out here in the park. I'm at Riverbend Park this morning because we got a ton of rain last night and all the trails would be mud. I am at Riverbend Park, which has a nice paved path, and love having this here. It's about 4 miles long and gives us a place to go and walk when it's rain or snow and the trails are too muddy to go on. But anyway, back to the filming of Mount Garfield. It made me look at the trail differently by filming and trying to make a story of going from the trailhead all the way to the top. And so with the limited equipment I have this little 12-inch tripod and my little GoPro. I think I did an okay job. It definitely let me know I need to get a bigger tripod that I could carry with me. I have a big tripod at home, but the thing is like carrying a ton of bricks, and I'm not carrying that up a 5-10 mile hike. So in the future, I'm gonna invest in one of these nice lightweight carbon fiber tripods that would allow me to, film at different angles. But that was the biggest learning experience. And of course, then with filming all those different clips, the how do I film the clips and then how do I edit them and put them together. And so from a filming and editing standpoint, this week was a huge win. I learned so much in the software. I learned so much with the camera. And so I would say that's the biggest win this week. With the YouTube stats last week, we finished the week 2 off with 48 subscribers. Well, this week we gained 37. So that was a very good positive. I kind of expected maybe another 15, 20, like the previous weeks, but that was a pleasant surprise. And man, the sun just popped over the mountains and it is right up in my eyes. So brings us to a total of 85 subscribers now. Views, the week 2 I had gotten 863 views. This week 520, and the vast majority of that came from that hike video. But the great thing about it is got good watch time hours for that video. So the previous week I had gotten 34.8 watch hours. This week only 24.3, but the vast majority of it came from that one video. And so bring me up to 74.7 total watch time hours. So, even though some of the numbers were not as big as the previous week, we still trended upward and moved forward. And the educational aspect of it this week and what I learned was just absolutely amazing. And Cool thing about this park is we have a lot of elderly people that come out here, and I'm 53 sitting here saying elderly people, you know, people in their 70s, 80s and beyond, that come out here and have this nice path that they can walk on. And a lot of people come out and walk their dogs. But you know, the thing about peaks and valleys is I think it's a good thing that we have low points. And the reason I say that, imagine if God had made the world flat, just perfectly flat. There were no mountains, there were no valleys. We just walked on a flat, level playing field all the time. I mean, think how boring that would be. But God was way too creative. It says he made the mountains rose and the valleys sank down to the place he appointed them. And why do we need mountains and valleys? Well, the mountains, I think, give us that point of adventure, something to climb towards. But when you get above the tree line, there's no life. You typically don't find water unless you find or on a mountain where a stream starts. But typically you don't find water other than when snow's melting. You don't find vegetation or wildlife or anything that could sustain life. So when you're up there high, you can't live there. You have to come back down to the valley, back down to where things grow, where there's water and life and trees and animals. And so don't look at the valleys as something negative. Rather look at them as something positive. This is the place that we actually thrive. It's where we're fed, where we learn, where we grow. And yeah, so, and then we get those moments where we get to go up, be on top of the mountain, see the great view, but eventually we have to come back down because we got to live. So yeah, well, I hope that this inspires you. If maybe your channel is not going quite the way you want it, yeah, mine's not growing at a skyrocketing pace either, but I'm also not copycatting anybody. I just want this to be an original channel of me going out on adventures and getting back into shape and chasing after my best life, and hopefully encourage you to do the same thing along your journey. So, you know, if you're on this YouTube journey, and let me know what's happening with your channel. What kind of growth are you experiencing? What kind of valleys are you experiencing? I love to know. I tell you, watching other people's journeys encourages me to keep going, and I keep having these tough learning lessons. Like I literally recorded this entire video this morning without plugging the audio cable in. Had to go back and re-record the whole entire thing. So you just got to learn and laugh and enjoy the valleys, because they're going to be there. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to finish my walk this morning, and then I got a bunch of woodworking to do back in the shop. So love you guys. God bless.